through the whole event. And the conference is also an opportunity to foster greater cooperation between the public and private sectors, airlines, regulatory bodies, and industry experts across the Asia Pacific region. By working together, we can address shared challenges and unlock the full potential of the region's aviation sector. Also, it is an honor for the country that the 80th anniversary of ICAO and Chicago Convention would be celebrated in India here as part of this conference, reflecting India's position on the global aviation map. With immense pride and joy, I extend a heartful welcome to all the esteemed dignitaries, delegates, and industry leaders coming from over Asia Pacific Ministerial Conference, which is across the region. Almost 41 countries are participating, and we have confirmation of up to 19 to 20 countries where the civil aviation ministers or people who are holding that position are going to participate in the event. And it's a great event for the civil aviation sector today. And I'm confident that this conference will facilitate a valued exchange of ideas and foster new partnerships that will strengthen our collective commitment to advance civil aviation, not only with our respective boundary sharing nations, but also throughout the Asia Pacific region. And we are optimistic that our shared aspirations and policies and priorities will lead to the adoption of Delhi Declaration, which is going to be the ultimate objective of this conference, that it is going to serve as a roadmap for elevating aviation in the region to new heights. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now the floor is open for questions, and your questions should be exclusively on APMC only. And please introduce yourself before asking questions.
Sir, Samir Dixit from Vitina. I have two questions. One is on the cargo side, as you have given this growth projection of 3.5 billion passengers by 2035. What sort of growth projection for the cargo sector overall in the Asia Pacific region? And secondly, sir, bilateral is a big issue. That's a sort of a challenge as well. So through the Delhi Declaration or through this entire exercise, how would you like to address it?
So regarding the bilaterals, we have requests from most of the participating nations to have certain discussions on them. And while we are going to go ahead with the conference, we are arranging separate meetings also during the conference for the requests that have come through their ministries. We are going to hold those discussions and going to take them positively. And we are taking advantage of having the conference and the ministers coming here. Otherwise, also, if any bilateral comes up to us, then we are proactively pursuing, because for the growth of civil aviation sector in the Indian sense, it is not only domestic network that we are looking at, but also international network. Now the ambitions of the Indian passenger has grown so much that tier 2, tier 3 cities also want to travel abroad. So we want to take this bilateral seriously, and we are arranging certain bilateral meetings during the conference also. And once it is done, we are going to tell you about it. And regarding the cargo, anyone has the numbers for cargo?
Sir, immediate projection for the cargo is not available because they are made by the international agencies. But you would appreciate that the cargo in the last 5-7 years has been in the range of 5 to 6%. And the projection would be even better because it depends intrinsically on the way the economy is performing. And not just domestic economy, but the international economy, which accounts for almost more than 2/3 of the cargo movement. So if the world economy does well, the cargo does well, because we have capacity in the belly of the aircraft and the number of aircrafts are increasing. So I think the projections should be upwards of 5 to 6%.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, this is Saurabh Sinha from Times of India. Taking forward on the bilateral comment, could you please name a few countries with whom you will be holding this discussion? And
Yeah.
is UAE going to be? The UAE is not, right?
UAE is not part of this. No, we have Vietnam. Can you tell us the countries? You have the list? Okay, I'll pronounce the countries. So some of the confirmed ones will be Bhutan. We have Maldives. We have Japan. We have a meeting with Vietnam, and bilateral meeting with Singapore. So these are some of the confirmed ones, and if we get any more requests also, we are facilitating in such a way that we can arrange for a bilateral meeting then and there itself.
So this is not related to the impacting, but the biggest demand for bilaterals by Indian Airlines in the so has been considered.
No, because they are not part of this conference, we are keeping it separate. Apart from that, we are going to look at it. Like we said that we are proactively looking at our bilateral agreements. But the base idea that I want to tell you is that we want to promote Indian airlines. Airlines which are registered within India, we want to give them the first choice of traveling abroad. So we have to maintain that because we want to create our own aviation hubs also. Let it be Delhi, let it be Mumbai, Chennai or any other places where there is a lot of air travel footfall. So we want to create them not only as hubs for the country but also hubs for the Asia Pacific region or for the whole world. So to achieve that, it is important that you encourage Indian airlines more. So with that concept, we are going to proactively pursue this. Let it be from UAE or any other country. We want to ensure that the bilaterals are respected and there is good movement between both the countries, and also our whole idea of promoting the Indianness in the aviation sector is also respected.
Any other question?
No, you said strictly to the conference, so that's why we are making it very quick.
One more thing, sir. You mentioned about the Delhi declaration. Just for our viewers, whenever an event comes, ultimately you are trying to achieve it, or the message that you are looking through the Delhi declaration.
See, ultimately, Delhi Declaration is going to be how to promote inter-country travel between all the Asia Pacific region. Like I said, 40% of the global travel is going to be between these countries. So there will be a lot of learning from each other. So one is improving the travel between these countries, seamless travel, or more how can we involve technology into having a more seamless travel in the future. And also a discussion on cargo, how can we improve the cargo, MROs, and the carbon net neutrality. We want to bring in sustainable energy things into aviation also. So there are some countries which have progressed a little bit more than the other countries. And when you have conferences and summits like these, they provide a platform where you can learn from other countries also. So that will be one of the major driving points for having this conference. And other than that, it is going to be a channel for all of us to open up discussions between individual countries who are participating. Like I said, one option is the bilaterals that we have, and any other issues that are there in terms of civil aviation between these countries, they can be brought up for discussion during this event, and we can come up with solutions on those kind of problems that we have. And Delhi Declaration is specifically going to look at these Asia Pacific countries, these 41 countries that we are talking about, on how to bilaterally or multilaterally improve the relations and the movement and the know-how. Know-how is very, very important today in civil aviation. So how do you combine all together and drive the whole civil aviation globally will be the primary motive of this conference.
So can we expect the bilaterals to happen, because Navi Mumbai and Noida airport will open by next March, April. So can we expect the bilaterals to be upwardly revised in time for that, for those, because they are...
No, as on such, there is no time limit for bilaterals. They keep happening whenever the limit is reached and all that. So like I said, we'll have a proactive approach towards this. And the approach will not be specific to one airport, like you said, Noida or Mumbai. It has to be specific to the country as a whole. So it is that approach that we want to take, and we will be looking into them proactively.
Lady over there, she...
Yes, sir, I was asking, there has been a long discussion and strategic discussion in the Beijing event also before this, when the event was there, that how to streamline the air traffic management. And India has been talking long to unify airspace under single command, but nothing has been done. So from the side of the India, are you going to put forth any initiative which has been done or discussed till now?
Yeah.
So I think it's linked to your question also. This APEC and the other regional conferences also which happen really build upon the discussions which happen in the ICAO format, and it is more of getting into details and reaffirming at the regional context. So whatever is discussed in the ICAO council meetings and the General Assembly, so those get further detailed and reaffirmed. So that is the way it works. It is not that a brand new topic will come into the regional which has never been discussed in the ICAO format. So for example, the things which they agreed in the Beijing conference in 2018 were followed up in the ICAO mechanism. And for example, in our case, the what AI has set up, the CAT-FM system of having a entire country, the aircraft flying and getting monitored and guiding the ATCs is something which we have done. And when we started it in 2017, there were only two Asia Pacific countries who were doing it. So we were a leader at that time itself. So, and beyond that, proposal now to set up a single sky kind of a system from Nagpur. So definitely it is moving on. So between the conferences, the actions are taken up either by the individual countries or in the council meetings of the ICAO. So these are all processes which keep on moving. And air navigation is one of the topics which will again be discussed, because this is something which is becoming more and more beyond one country. So it will be one of the main agenda items which will be discussed in this conference also.
So, but the single command system, anything is going to happen this year, because it has been, the ministry is talking about it since last year, and till now there has been not anything talks about the single command. This year something concrete will happen.
It will follow the EO which has been issued for the single sky system, and we would like to carry it forward.
Yeah,
Sir, any question apart from this event?
I have. I don't have any questions.
Can we ask?
No.
We'll
Strictly restricted. See, for next 3-4 days, any discussion on civil aviation has to be regarding the event. So I know you have a lot of questions on your mind. Let us keep it after 12. I'm definitely going to answer all of them. But right now, all the space that you have for civil aviation should carry this. This is a very pride moment for all of us that we are hosting this event. So we want it to go smoothly, and we want it to be respected by each and everyone in this space. So.
You have given all the breaking through the FICCI event. You have left nothing for us here.
We'll meet again. I think it's a step out, sir.
Sir, during this 2-day conference, whether the officials from the Ministry of External Affairs or other ministries will also be roped in
You can answer that, yeah.
to further clarify, because Asia Pacific region has several countries where India has visa for those countries. So whether this will also taken forward to expand the visa-free availability for the Pacific.
The focus of the conference will be more of the air navigation system, aviation safety, that is our DGCA processes of all the countries combined, the ASA processes, that kind of a thing, and the aviation security. And fourth is in fact one very important topic which comes up is the national facilitation programs, which is actually a balancing of security regulations of aviation and facilitating passengers. So these are the 4 or 5 topics which will be the more focused. The Ministry of External Affairs will be part of our Indian delegation, and we will have discussions wherever it comes up, but visa and travel regulations are a bit outside this particular ICAO format.
There's one more question. I said Manoj from PBS. Sir, a few questions related to the conference only. How many people are expected for the conference, delegation wise, any approx number?
Numerically about 250-300.
253.
41
So,
countries and almost
international organizations. Yeah.
international organizations.
And so, are the confirmation of ministers from Pakistan, China?
Is there a confirmation?
Pakistan, no. China is under process.
Okay.
So, one question. You mentioned about meeting on bilaterals with Bhutan, Maldives, Japan, Vietnam, and Singapore. Now, among these countries, from the Singapore side, I believe they've exhausted their bilaterals, and the Singapore Airlines Group also has a demand that there are, I think, 26 or 24 points of call that are allowed in India from Singapore, and they want more tier 2 cities to that you want to look at during your meeting with your counterparts?
No. First of all, we have to see what proposition are they coming with, and we have to, like I said, what is India's point of view is that we have to ensure that the hub process within India doesn't get hampered. We want to create our own hubs also. And second, at a different stage, we also want our tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities also to be connected to the world. So if, and multilaterals just don't happen at one certain level. There are multiple levels at which these bilateral agreements are done. So whatever existing regulations or rules to respect all, blanket that the bilaterals are going to be surrounded with is that, one, we have to create our own hub. Second, we want to promote our airlines also. So keeping these two in mind, if there is anything that we are able to do with Singapore, then definitely we are going to move forward positively.
Any more questions? All the sessions open for
No. That is why this special briefing. On the events? No, we are going to give this thing on what went through.
Yeah.
We share with the media.
It's a ministerial conference, so in fact the main conference, the sessions will be in fact for the ministers only. It's not even that all the delegations, everyone will attend. But towards the end, when it concludes, we are discussing how we can have a proper press briefing, all of you immediately. So it's a bit of a scheduling and Honorable Prime Minister's program, but we are definitely having that in mind, that as soon as it closes, that media is briefed properly. So we'll let you know.
So we need to be there only post this thing is over.
Well, you'll be informed. Our
We'll be informed.
PIB
We'll
will
have
inform
to see
properly.
how
Yeah.
to do that. Okay, thank you. 14 के बाद मिलेंगे. Continue. So welcome. Growth of Indian civil aviation, pivotal role in the region's aviation ecosystem. The ministerial conference would address the intermediate challenges and long-term growth prospects for aviation industry, especially in the Asia-Pacific region, which is home to also the fastest growing aviation markets in the world. By 2035, this Asia-Pacific region is expecting growth of Indian civil aviation, but to also play a pivotal role in the region's aviation ecosystem. The ministerial conference would address the intermediate challenges and long-term growth prospects for aviation industry, especially in the Asia-Pacific region, which is home to also the fastest growing aviation markets in the world. By 2035, this Asia-Pacific region is expected to account for over 40% of all the global traffic, which nearly is 3